That doesn't mean, or that doesn't show what these numbers represent though. And that's where we get here. Binary is usually split up in bytes. Okay? So each 0 or 1 is a bit. It is a single unit. It is a 0 or it is a 1. And that is a bit. Okay? So what is a byte? A byte is a set of 4. Or was it 8? Another thing for Google. I can cut out the time. Hey, guess what? Good news. I lied. I had a feeling it was wrong, that's why I looked it up. Don't know why I got it wrong, it really is embarrassing. It's embarrassing. I shouldn't have got it wrong. Because I know binary, I'm comfortable with binary. I feel like me and binary know each other real well, you know? Me and binary have been friends for a couple of years now. We're tight, you know? I shouldn't have done that silly stuff. Anyway, that's a byte is 8 bits. 8-bit. That sounds familiar. It should sound familiar to anybody that was born in recent history. 8-bit video games. Ran on 8 bits, 1 byte. Anyway, so what do the zeros and ones mean? They're not just adding zeros and ones, because why wouldn't you just use decimal for that? Well, that's the trick. That's exactly what we do. If we just want to count up multiples of 1, we just count 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so that's not any different here. If we go back over here, I mean, it's not like we go, okay, well, we have 1. Okay, well, that's 1 plus 1. That's 1 plus 1 plus 1. That's not binary. So what does it mean? Well, first off, pay attention right over here, okay? Decimal is 10 to the n. And n isn't usually capital when denoting things like this, so I'm going to make it lowercase because that's a smart way to do it. 10 to the n. What does that mean, John? What crazy stuff are you trying to talk about? Well, let's see. 10 to the 0 power. What is that? It's 1. Anything to the 0 power is 1, if you didn't know. I didn't know that until I took calculus, and they were like, oh yeah, by the way, if it's to the 0 power, it's 1. So somebody failed along the line in some of my earlier classes, if that was an important thing to know. So what's 10 to the 1? It's 10. 10 to the first power. Anything to the first power is an identity. It's itself. What's 10 to the second power? It's 10 times 10. It's 100. What's 10 to the third power? 1,000. 10 to the fourth? 10,000. That's how it grows. Okay. So, if this is binary, again, bi meaning 2, we're going to do the same thing, but it's going to be 2. 2 to the n. So, what is 2 to the 0? Anything to the 0 is 1, so 2 to the 0 is 1. What is 2 to the first power? Identity. It's 2. What is 2 to the second power? 4. Okay. 2 to the third power? 8. 2 to the fourth power? 16. 2 to the fifth is 32. 2 to the sixth, 64. 2 to the seventh is 128. this is important to keep in mind. Remember when I said 8-bit? 1 byte is 8 bits. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 bits. Well, we just counted out binary 8 times. Each of these represents a position, okay? Just like with decimal, 10 to 0 is 1. That's your ones place. 10 to the 1 is 10. That's your tens place, your hundreds place, your thousands place. It's the same thing with binary, but instead of ones, tens, hundreds, thousands, it's your ones, your twos, your fours, your eights, your 16s, your 32s, your 64s, and your 128s. It's the same system, again, but instead of tens, it's twos. It's a base 2 system. It's a binary system. So, that being said, you may have seen this, and as I'm trying to make a connection here, these represent these different values. And if you can't read them, I'm going to write over them a little darker. 1, 2, 4, 8, okay? 16, 32, 64, 128. That's the values of each bit. Okay? Oh my god, I keep hitting that light. It's not good. So, what does this mean? Okay. Each of these have a value. What is this number? What is this number right here? What is the decimal value of this binary number? Give you a minute to think about it. Just zoom in right there. What is the decimal value of this binary number? Think it through. 128 plus nothing, plus nothing, plus 16, plus nothing, plus nothing, plus 2, plus 1. So, this number, I'm sure that's blurry, so I'm going to zoom out a little because it hasn't focused. It's 128 plus 16 plus 2 plus 1. Let's see. 8 plus 2, that's 10. So 6, 7. That leaves us 7. Carry a 1 over there. So 2, 3. And then 4 in the tens place. And then 1 in the hundreds. 1, 4, 7. If you know me, 147 is kind of my number. Gabay 147 is my EID. That might not have been a good thing to say, but that's public knowledge, I think. Anybody can email me. My RuneScape username, RuneScape throwback, right? My RuneScape username is King_John147. I've been using 147 since I was a kid. It's nice because on a keyboard, you know, with the number pad on the right, you have 1, then above 1 is 4, and above that is 7. Yeah. Anyway, so that's how you count binary. You have your digits, and your digits hold a value. Well, guess what? I mean, it's really the same thing in decimal. It really is.